So, you're thinking of taking on an allotment. Now, allotments have been around since the days of World War II, but they have increased in popularity recently, driven by the increase in the cost of living, increasing awareness of climate change, and the knowledge of healthy, nutritious, organic food. All of this has made grow your own a very popular thing nowadays, and an allotment is a perfect place to do this. It can really allow you to supplement your weekly shop during the summer months, and an allotment is very, very cheap to rent. But hold on just a minute, because there are some things which you need to know first, and I'm going to go over 5 of those things based on my 4 years of experience having an allotment, which I think you should know first. I think the 5th one is quite often overlooked by a lot of people. Now, the first thing you should know, and it may sound very cliche, but having an allotment is not easy. Now, I've seen it happen so many times over the last 4 years on our allotment site, where there's been new people take an allotment on and not done anything with it, and it's just gone overgrown, and then they've been kicked off, and they thought that it was going to be easier than what it is. An allotment takes a lot of time, and it is a big commitment. I would say it takes around 2 or 3 hour sessions per week to maintain a tidy, productive plot. Now, obviously this is going to vary depending on many different factors. It's going to be influenced by the size of your plot, how much you're growing, the time of year, how new your plot is, because you're going to have to put a lot more time in at the beginning to get it up to scratch. During the summer months, you're going to have to do a lot of watering, and we had quite a dry spring this year. May and June were very, very dry, and I was watering the plot nearly every day, and it took about an hour every single time. That's 1 hour of watering almost every single day, and let me tell you now, it was very, very hard work to keep on top of it. I was really pleased when we had some rains. It's all very, very time consuming, so do be prepared to make a massive time commitment. Now, the second thing which you should know before you get an allotment is that you're probably going to end up with a messy, overgrown, neglected plot which needs a lot of work. Now, plots are very hard to come by, and waiting lists are very long. You probably know this if you've already been on a waiting list for quite a while. And this is because plots only become available if somebody gets kicked off because they're not maintaining their plot, or because somebody sadly passes away and then passes on their plot, or just simply gives up the plot. The chances are when you receive one, it's going to be quite a mess, like mine was. Mine was really, really messy when I took it on 4 years ago. The chances are you're going to end up with a plot that's a little bit like this. This is a plot behind me which has recently become vacant, and yeah, needs a little bit of work. So this is probably what you're going to end up with, so you do have to be prepared for that. You may be very, very lucky and have a plot that's ready to go, but it's very, very unlikely. Now, the third thing you should know is there are quite a few things which you need to consider before you even put your name on a waiting list, and it's all to do with the site itself and the location of the allotment. Now, you're probably going to want to put your name on a waiting list for an allotment site that is quite close to where you live. My plot is just a 5-minute drive up the road, so it's pretty close. I would say no more than a 15-minute drive, because in the summer you're going to be visiting the allotment quite a lot, and in your first year as well, when you're putting all that work and time in, you're going to be taking a lot of items to the allotment as well. Close proximity to where you live is really important. You're also going to want to choose an allotment site which is secure as well. You know, does the site get broken into quite often? Is there a secure fence and security system on the site? You're also going to perhaps want to look into the rules on the site, because different allotment sites have different rules. Some allotments are run by the council in the area, and some allotments are self-managed and have an association. Some allotments have rules on structures, like some don't allow greenhouses or polytunnels, and some don't allow sheds. Some don't have a water supply and rely solely on water butts. Some allotment sites even have rules where every month or every so often, it depends on the site, they have a work party where allotment holders will get together and carry out maintenance jobs around the site. So some of them do expect you to put in some work in that area as well, in just general site maintenance. So do keep that in mind as well. Now, the fourth thing you should know before you take on an allotment is that some allotments have been used for many, many decades, year after year, and this means that they can harbour pests and diseases. Like, for example, I have a big problem with blight on my allotment, and I also have some problems with white rot and mildew in onions, for example. So if the ground has not been left to go fallow and it's been used year after year, diseases and pests can really build up and become a problem. So you do need to take this into consideration, that you are going to have to deal with these things at some point on the allotment. That's just all part of the challenge. We are now down to the fifth reason, and I think this one is quite often overlooked by a lot of people because they have false expectations when they go and take an allotment on, and that is that you're probably not going to save as much money as you think by having an allotment. Now, I know I said at the beginning of the video that you can supplement your weekly shop during the summer, and it can make a big difference. You're going to be getting a glut of vegetables during the summer months when supermarket vegetables are quite cheap anyway. And obviously you can store certain vegetables through the winter to eat during the winter, but for the most part you're still going to be buying vegetables as you normally would have done during the winter months. So it's the summer months really where you're going to feel the most benefit. So I'm sorry to disillusion anyone who thought they were going to save loads and loads of money when they took on an allotment. No, it's not all about that. And I think the benefit is all in growing your own nutrient-dense food, which is free from the chemicals and all the herbicides which you get in the supermarket food. And it just tastes better. It's freshest. Fresh is best. And I think that's what it's all about, to be honest. So you have to enjoy it, and I feel like it's all about the freshness, the organicness. Now, with all that being said, having an allotment is an amazing thing, and it's actually one of the best things that I have ever done. It is something that ensures food security no matter what happens in the future, because we do live in a very uncertain world. So having an allotment, hard work, takes a lot of time, it's a massive commitment, and there are many different things which you need to consider before you get one. But it is well worth it, and I would never ever get rid of my allotment. I will always have one. So I hope I managed to help you if you were thinking of getting an allotment. This is meant to be a video just showing the reality of it, how it really is. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video and found it useful, then hitting that like button is really appreciated and it helps support me. And of course, if you want to see more content like this in the future, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon as well, so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video in the future. I hope to see you in the next video, and remember, happy gardening and enjoy it no matter the weather. That's all for now. I'll see you later.